Hey babes, it's your fairy rave godmother here. Listen, listen, listen. This whole Jupiter, Cazimi, Jupiter conjunct direct the sun. The new moon in Cancer tomorrow. I got my whole feed blowing up about what a great manifesting portal that is, what a lucky day it can be, yada yada yada. But listen, it ain't all rainbows and cupcakes in space. I think that if you want to ride the whole holy high roller gravy train, cool. If you want to take the exuberance and the energy of this transit and roll with it, look, bet you've earned it. This year has been dumpster fire, right? But my perception of this time and space is that we can actually do more harm than good when we are calling in a miracle or calling in that breakthrough, or I don't know, getting naked and bowing down to the alien gods and saying, give me my spiritual download, because Jupiter is a big head. Jupiter is buoyant and intelligent and lively, but Jupiter is also, I'm so big I can't see past the tip of my nose, past my orbit. Jupiter can account for a little bit of stubbornness, a little bit of showiness, let's say. So in my self-committed mission to speak out against spiritual bypassing, methinks this is the time and space to do it. One of the times and spaces to do it. I think that when you consider the moon, which means a lot of things, it's the emotional body. In evolutionary astrology, the moon offers us the nose, which essentially, boiled down, are shadow spaces. Spaces of potential, of the karma that you have worked through, of the previous actions, and then, let's say, like a container, a cup, to hold where the energy is going. And I wish I could be snappy and remember that phrase where it's like, where your attention goes, your energy flows. Oh yeah, no, that's it, right? I got it. I think that it is very easy to allow yourself to get caught up in some of the high vibe, intellectualized feel-goodiness of the moon right now. I think it would be great to really take a look at your attachment styles. And if you don't know what that means, well, the attachment style that you have relates to how you relate. And it can be something like chaotic or disorganized. It can be regulated. This is me trying to whittle down a very, very, very large and very, very important topic in psychology into something that is true. Sure, you can spit back all this stuff that you read on attachment theory, but when it comes down to brass tacks, walking through the present moment, everything that you're manifesting and everything that you're generating from has some sort of connection to your fundamental attachment style, and that's emotional. And so I think rather than focusing on manifesting, I'd invite you to explore timeline shifts. And what I mean by that is a change so fundamental that it actually reframes how you are living, what it feels like to have the life that you have. And within the point of view of a timeline shift, what you are also working with is revising your attachment style. And this is something that we all grow up with. It's shaped by our early environment, by many factors, but it's shaped essentially when we're younger and we're forming our boundaries and understanding what nurtures us, Cancer, right? What responds to us and what gives us what we need. And we hold those energetic impressions and develop attachment styles. And well, nothing's ever perfect. Very rarely does someone come across or does someone do the work so that their attachment style and how they move through the world, relating to the world, that changes. And that's what I'm talking about with a timeline shift. And you're never going to get it literally jump timelines. I mean, maybe like you want to argue it down to the quantum nature of reality. Sure, right? Sure, we're timeline shifting, we're timeline hopping. But essentially, you are here in this physical body. You are a soul. And your experience is always going to be being constellated by your magnetism, which is also Jupiter, by your field. So if Jupiter and the moon and the sun, the generative force of life, big kahuna in the solar system, if they all line up, oh yeah, that's a burst of energy. But when you connect to yourself, your inner will, and you can maybe play with the sun being your will if you'd like. It's something that I picked up from Dan Rudyard. When you can imagine all of this energy coming into your personality, coming into your being, and giving your being the opportunity to move from the will, move through the mind in a bit of an enlightened state, then what you're going to be calling forth or constellating will reflect an easier, more focused expression of intention and manifesting. Boy, did I just contradict myself a little bit, but it's both end. It's both end, right? So I'm like, don't do the manifesting, don't do the manifesting. Hold tight, get grounded, and just be really sure that you can hold all this light and energy, and or do the manifesting if your intention is clear and it's not navigating through a lot of tricky attachment, a lot of tricky emotionality. Here's one thing that's been coming up for me. And it's actually related to intuition. Cancer is very intuitive. Cancer is also the heart, Anahata chakra, the community that we keep. And recently I have noticed that every time like I get a really good spiritual download, or anytime I get like an idea where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to move on that, and I move on it in the world, things that I need appear. They manifest. And they are in alignment with a timeline that is for the greater good, the highest high. And if things don't always work out, say, oh, well, it really didn't flow. It really wasn't meant to me. But that's the bypassing. Upon a deep, deep, and like hard reflection, I realized that there are so many times where something doesn't flow or manifest easily. I kind of slide in with the synchronicities, and I'll say, oh, but this certain thing happened, and it was meant to be, and I need to hold tight with this situation, getting little helping hands, right? Little messages, these synchronicities. But I noticed that each time I recognized a synchronicity, let's say in a period of about 3 or 4 days, I recognized synchronicities, and then I was able to actually draw a pattern around those synchronicities that validated or just reflected back a certain attachment style. And rather than saying intuitively, let me move through this situation, I took the synchronicities as something they're not. Synchronicities are going to emerge from the emotional body, right? Because it's part of the meaning making and that feeling or semblance of the universe interacting with you. But it's not always true. You got to take your big head Jupiter off to say, oh, yeah, maybe I thought that into existence. Maybe I thought that so hard and I made the meaning, Jupiter in Cancer. But it is my will, Sun, to simply witness that. And the only manifesting that I will do is for a timeline or a way of being that is in the higher and greatest good of all. I hope that gave you something to, I don't know, listen to while you're doing dishes, or, contemplate the meaning of existence. Big ideas. Hold tight, babes. Got a big burst of energy and it's juicy and we love it, but also stay grounded in what will serve your emotional experience and where you're manifesting from.